You're all in Team Kitabu, right? And then, yeah, Delois, Anne, how are you doing? How is the US? I'm fine, right? I'm glad you are here, right? And thank you for being a keen follower anyway, right? So we've seen that in Kitabu, right? You know, we've seen that in Kitabu. Now, Babuba got there, right? He went and came back, you know, and then the following trip we've seen, yes, he went with Kitabu, right? They were in France. You've all seen, I mean, the tour they had in Europe. So this time around, you know, we've seen the likes of Kanta, Terema, you know, you name them. I mean, I think 5 people from Team Kitabu. Can you imagine? And then funnily enough, it is true, it is today that one of my colleagues realized that in fact Kitabu isn't part of this year's tour. It is his genius that are in this Europe tour. Can you imagine? That is absolute leadership. Yes, proper leadership. Right? So perhaps, you know, one would have asked, why is it so important, right, for the likes of Kitabu and ST? But the reason why, you know, their engagements became the most talked about engagements this year is because of the team-driven reality. I've mentioned, you know, the case of ST. Now, we've also seen Kitabu, the move he has taken. You've seen Kanta, Sasu, Umar Jetekaba in France, who has been taking them around and about France. We've seen their moves. You've seen in Sweden what they've done there, how they spread money on Kanta, how the Gambians also received them in the diaspora. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. So, right? All because Kitabu also respect the team-driven reality, a spirit the corps as outlined by Henry Fayol. Now, if you are working with people, be passionate about them, right? Care about their welfare, care about their well-being, right? Are you worried about their health, right? How happy are you regarding their progress and growth? It's very important. Yes. It's very, very important. So it's obvious that Kitabu, you know, is very happy, right? You have seen him, you know, he ended his Facebook Live not long. That's the fact of the matter, right? That's the sense of ownership, right? That's the sense of direction. I mean, the good leadership. It shouldn't be about you. Kitabu is the leader of Team Kitabu, the comedian, obviously. He is the one that groomed all these young ones, right? He could have been like, let it be about me, right? Like we've seen other creatives doing, right? 4, 5, 6 times in a row, you are the only person, the only hit going out and coming in without your team. So if Kitabu can be able to do this, if ST can be able to do it in this way, there is no Gambian creative that cannot do the same way these 2 creatives have done, right? So, Jahanga Boyo, Drabandra is a problem. He almost exhausted all our time by telling me we are not hearing you. On the whole, he is in the bushes of Farado. Yeah, so that's the fact of the matter, right? You know, Kitabu's leadership. Yes, he has allowed these other people also to blossom. Yes, they must go out. Let them also experience what is in Europe. Team Kitabu, the comedian, is not only me, it's about all other thespians that are under my watch, right? Or in my team. And that's exactly what we've seen. He has exercised patient, right? He has been that groomer, right? Somebody who is so much passionate about the team-driven reality. Yes, it cannot be only me. But again, you must be somebody with a clean heart, a very, very good heart, for you to be able to be like Kitabu, right? Or ST, so to speak. Yeah, because, I mean, I think Kitabu also is a great trendsetter, right? As evident in what we are seeing today, because in fact, some 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't like this. In fact, most of the movements that we've been seeing regarding our Europe showcases, right, and America, it has been around performing artists only, not stand-up comedians or dramatists, right? It has been performing artists. So today, if Kitabu can also pioneer in this magnitude, right, create such an opportunity that would make performing dramatists and stand-up comedians to be in the diaspora, it is something that is commendable, so to speak. We must commend Kitabu and his entire team, right, for being so visionary. And now they've definitely changed the narrative, right? The narrative was steadily about what? Performing artists going, right? But not stand-up comedians, actors and actresses, right? So today, Team Kitabu has proven to the whole world that yes, the Gambia has great performing thespians, right? But it also have great stand-up comedians, actors and actresses, right? So, kudos to Kitabu, goodbye. Now, this is the only way we will be able to develop the creative sector of the Gambia, right? It has to be an all-to-benefit, right, industry for everybody, right? Especially when it is a team. There must be that team-driven reality. It cannot be only about one person, right? For us to do this, like I said, the event organizers in the diaspora or promoters also have their profit maximization plans, right? You cannot go against these things because every businessman would like to make profit or so. But then the thing is, it must be our responsibility, right, as creatives, right, experts in the sector, seasoned artist managers, right, to be able to negotiate with these event organizers and promoters so that they can include, like I said, so that they will be able to include those that work with performing artists, right, like we have seen in the case of Kitabu and ST. So, unless, right, we are able to do that, we will not be able to grow, right, at gross dynamics. That's the fact of the matter. For us to grow to a certain level, right, it has to be all inclusive. So basically, our tasks as consultants and musicologists, Starboy Njai, thank you very much for coming. Yes, that's right, no. So, our tasks as musicologists, right, managers and consultants would be still, to harness the business, to talk around the business. Like I said, most of the event organizers would say this. I said this last week. They would say, okay, for us to bring a certain number of people together with the performing artists is definitely capital intensive. We cannot handle this. Cognizant of the fact that Gambians that usually come in their larger numbers to fill up venues, so it will be harder for us to handle the artists and also include all the other people, right, musicians or subordinates, right, who work with the artists. And I said it, still we can mitigate it. In the event, they can be able to accommodate, right, or to whatever handle the air ticket cost of the artists. If these are the probably two things that they can be able to do, the rest of the team also can have where to bank on. Now here, the manager or consultant would engage businesses to come to the support of that creative by telling businesses, look, this is the package we have, right, in the diaspora, right, Europe or America. Now they can be able to fund the main artists, but then the rest of the team, we want your business to come, right, to their support so that they can be augmented, right, for us to procure their air tickets. Okay? That is something possible. By then they would have factored these teammates right, of the main artists on the invitation letter, like I said last week, right? But it cannot be a moment of the main artist being defensive, right? Being intolerant to ideas and opinions of experts, managers regarding how to mitigate, right, these foreign travels. Now, we've also seen instances. I'm a living witness, and I know one of my colleagues in the sector, Prince Dab, is also a living witness that one of the promoters that approached An2 at Sparky, right? I think earlier this year, there was going to be a high-powered delegation because they want to make sure that other people in the creative sector could, in fact, accompany, An2. But then what happened was, you will be very shocked to realize that these negotiations, right? That is the issue of artists going with their team. Yes, they've approached An2. He said he has to go with his team, 5 people or 6. They've approached Oh Boy. At one time, he said the same thing. There are people, consultants, promoters, right? Creatives and managers in the sector, right? That they would be talking to, right? Aside probably the main artist and his or her manager. So usually, when these conversations are going on, there are some creatives in the sector who would in fact be telling these promoters, no, if this particular artist don't want to comply, forget about him, let's take another artist. Yeah. So you will come to realize that once these promoters have an alternative case, forget it. They are not going to waste their time, right, in taking an artist like An2, Oh Boy, and other creatives that will tell them, it cannot be only me alone, it has to be me and my team. So whenever this is the case, I think what is expected of music business consultants, right, managers and thespians like us would be to say, respect the views of that particular artist who is saying he must go with his team. Yeah, it has to be this way. But if you are discouraging them, right, from adhering to the principles or the policies of that particular artist, right, only for you to place an alternative case or indicator to them, they will never change. Yes, they will never change, their moves, right, or their ways of operations towards us, because they will realize, yes, in the event this particular creative cannot comply, there is another creative that wants to comply. So we must go with that creative, right? So, but then it has to be, right, that reality, the reality of, yes, team-driven reality, the reality of esprit de corps, being passionate about your teammates, right? Telling the promoters outside the truth, and even organizers, to say, yo, this is the fact of the matter. Just like how other thespians in Senegal, Nigeria, and other parts of the world are going with their team. That's the same way Gambians should also travel, right? Look at it today. If Kitabu is able to, take 5 to 6 people, right, from Team Kitabu. In fact, here one would say it's the entire Team Kitabu that is gone. Yeah, it's the entire Team Kitabu. So it cannot be on the basis of impossibility. Impossibility is always going to be a problem, right? Everything is possible regarding these things. What is it? The issue of team-driven reality, like we have seen it in the case of Kitabu. Yes, so to speak. Right? The entire Team Kitabu in their foreign tour. Very beautiful. And we've seen how Gambians also have received this team, right? At gross level. How they had celebrated them, how they had embraced them, how they had augmented them. They have received them very well, give them all sort of accommodation, right? And then the tour continues on and on. Who knows, the reception that they will get, right, in Switzerland or elsewhere if they are going to get there. Just like how we've seen it, the properness of those in Sweden, in France, how DJobs had taken them around and about town to show them what is right there. So that is the beauty of team-driven reality, right? That is the essence of leadership, good leadership for that matter. Now we've seen this, right, without any iota of reservation, right, in Kitabu and ST Brikamaboyo. Yeah. So